Hey, it's Kaero. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another AI generated deck using Urzas A.I. We're going to take a look at these cards, see if they're good. Some of them are quite busted sometimes, and some of them are kind of like nonsensical, unplayable. Today this is a mono white deck, so we're going to take a look at it. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Thank you for subscribing. It helps me to bring more content and do more videos. Let's jump right into it. I have not seen any of these cards. I'm going to be reacting to them right off the bat. So the first one we have is Ghoulcaller Geist. This is a 4 generic artifact creature snake 1/1. Tap to add black and green mana. So that's a really cool ability. I don't know why it's in the mono white deck. Is it going to be good in here? I doubt it. Let's find out. Flavor text is Geist had once seen a rotting lizard. It may not have been a perfect comparison, but that was what the city thought when it fell. You know the old saying, the city's like a rotting lizard. You know what I mean? Of course, Geist, you know. Kind of cliche for you to use such a well-known saying, though, Geist. Let's move on. Commander's Banner. 1 white, 1/1 defender, human soldier. So it's a sentient banner. When Commander's Banner, another enchantment, and enters the battlefield and you control, target creature an opponent controls gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So you play this on 1. They don't have a creature that kind of negates the downside, but still just a 1/1 defender. And I'm curious as to why it is a banner. I guess it's like a banner that, you know what? It's like the Doctor Strange cloak, only in banner form. That's what this is. Flavor text is a grizzled captain on a ruined bridge leads a long procession into the bloody shadows. Yeah, that card's not good. Flame Scarred Herald. Look at the art. The art's amazing. It has a solid blue background and it's like a toy soldier animated. The AI did a great job with this one. I don't know if that red is its cloak or if it's its shadow. Let's see. 1 white, 4 generic for a dwarf knight. 3/2 Flame Scarred Herald gets +2/+1 as long as you control another knight. Okay, so we might have some knight tribal going on. So it could be potentially a 5/3 for 4. As long as you have another knight, or for 5 mana, excuse me. That's still not good, just a vanilla creature. Flavor is Gideon's soldiers must fight with a spear as much as with a sword. Nobanale of Kalarfa. Yeah, I'm not super impressed with Flame Scarred Herald. I am impressed with the art, though. The art is awesome. Terror Geist of Erd. 1 white, 1/1 haste. Tap 1 white, 1 generic. It gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So it's a 1/1 haste that's pumpable. Not the worst card in the world. If it was just 1 white mana to pump it, that would be super awesome. This is cool in like a white weenie deck. It is a human soldier too. So 2 relevant creature types. Flavor text is Erd's oppressive force intimidates foes into moving through the danger without any fight. Yeah, I don't really know. So this is a terror Geist, but it's a soldier, but it's not a spirit. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. It costs a lot to pump it, and it does 1. I feel like you're pumping mana into this thing all the time. I don't think it's very good. Loreseeker Elder, 1 white, 1/1, tap. Target creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn. That's a good 1-drop, especially if you're aggressive. Actually, for blockers too, if you think about it, you could put this down on turn 1 or maybe turn 2. You have another 1/1 or 2/2 creature. They can't really attack into you because they're like, well, Loreseeker Elder is going to make that 2/2 right there a 4/4. And just by tapping, no mana associated with it. I think this is a very good card. Flavor is Witness. Look to the eyes of God. Yeah, Loreseeker Elder. I would run this card, I think. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Judgment of Spirit. Oh boy, that's a big text box. 1 white, 1/1 human cleric. When Judgment of Spirit enters the battlefield, each player votes secretly for Judgment of Spirit's controller, then shares the vote among other players. If more than half the players vote for Judgment of Spirit's controller, Judgment of Spirit enters the battlefield tapped and fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. So Judgment of Spirit comes in. Each player goes, I'm voting yes or no at the Judgment of Spirit's controller, so it's basically like a yes or no vote. And then each player, if it comes in tapped, if more than half the players, I guess, say yes, and it fights something, That's a 1/1. What's going to fight? This is the flavor is actually the rules text on it is amazing just because it makes my brain cells pop and explode. But yeah, this is a bad card. It's really bad, but it's really confusing. So if your opponent is like not wanting to read the card and you want to just torture them by making them read ridiculous cards, Judgment of Spirit is for you. Flavor text is the servants of Kaero, sent from the Citadel to defeat the soldiers of Orm, began to call her by name. Spectral Lancer, 1 white, 1 generic for 1/2 flying. When Spectral Lancer dies, exile it. If you do, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink. Okay, this is a pretty good card. 2 mana, get you a little 1/2 flyer. You can pop a few times, you know, pop in the face, and then it dies. Or you can maybe you put like a aura on it, maybe to incentivize them if they kill it. If they don't, it hits for more. If they do, you get 2 1/1 white soldiers with lifelink. That's a pretty good deal for 2 mana. I like this card. Flavor is, as angels can only assume one of the formless natures of death, vengeance, war, and wrath, it is nearly impossible to understand the essence of spectral soldiers. That's true, especially spectral soldiers with a gun. This soldier has a gun. That's for sure a gun, right? That's a Halo weapon. Kind of scary. That angel means business. Mountain Valley. It's a land to add red or green. Super good. This is just a dual land, like an original dual land. It doesn't come in tapped or anything. Don't know why it's in the mono white deck, but yeah, I would totally run this in a deck where I had need for red or green. It's an amazing regular OG dual land. Ancient Reminders of Mount Karai. Quicksmith Hawk, 4 generic mana. It's an artifact creature, bird, 2/2 flying vigilance. When Quicksmith Hawk enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target creature from your graveyard to your hand. That's not bad. 4 mana gets you a 2/2 flying vigilance creature. It can hit the opponent if they don't have any flyers. It can block. As a chump blocker, it's not going to block much, but it also gets you a creature from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty good. This card would actually be very good in limited. I don't know about, certain formats and constructed would probably be like too slow or whatever, but limited, this would be good, especially if a couple of these. 1 is to scare them away. 2 is to do their job. Quicksmith Hawk, I like that. Highland Battalion, oh my. Look at that. Look at the trunk on that. That's nice. That cat, there's a cat looking at the trunk on that, in fact. And this battalion has sword hands. I don't see any hands that are gripping that sword. I just see blades coming out. Let's see what it does. 1 white, 3 generic for a cat. It's a cat soldier? So wait, I'm confused. Before we even read the card, it's a cat soldier, but there's also like a real cat next to it. So like what makes it is maybe that's just a soldier. And the Highland Battalion is the cat in this picture that's looking at the soldier. The 2/3, tap to untap target attacking creature. And 1 white, 2 generic to tap, prevent all combat damage that would be done this turn by that creature's controller. So the way it's worded, I don't think the second ability actually makes sense. Like, I don't think you can word it this way, but I know what it's trying to do. Saying so, like, tap it to untap target attacking creature, essentially giving your attacking creature vigilance, or you attack with it, still attacking, you untap, then you use its ability, right? So that would actually be, that's actually kind of cool. And then if you have 3 mana, you can tap this, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by that creature's controller. So they attack you, then you untap their creature. No, you tap this, and then if they cast like a damage spell, you negate that. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is really crazy. But one thing's for sure, I think the Highland Battalion is that cat. And it's about to get that soldier with the trunk. Swift Sword Bodyguards. Wow, look at that art. That's pretty cool. That's like Predator meets the 1980s, right there. 2 white, 2 generic for human soldier, protection for multicolored. Tap 2 white, prevent all damage, combat damage that would be dealt to Swift Sword Bodyguards. That's a good card. That's a very good card. So it doesn't look like too much with the power and toughness for 4, but the fact that it can't be blocked or targeted by anything multicolored, and also you can prevent all damage by it, means you just keep this up, and it's a chump blocker that never dies. And also, if you swing in and go to combat and they do something unexpectedly, you can just prevent all that damage if you have 2 mana up. This is good. As in battle, a legion's ability to stand and fight is predicated on their bodies being in perfect condition. I would say these guys are in perfect condition. They look to be in great physical shape. They have obviously attention to detail as far as their outfits. The one dude on the left has a giant cross on his head, like much taller than it should be. Yeah, I mean, perfect condition. Good job, guys. Rally the Ancestors, 1 white enchantment. At the beginning of each player's end step, if you have 1 or more cards in hand, you may put a white or a black counter on target creature. To my knowledge, white or black counters don't exist in Magic, but I'm going to say if they did exist, maybe what that does is it changes the color of a creature. Like if a creature has a white counter on it, it becomes white in addition to its other colors. Maybe triggering making it multicolored? Yeah? Let me know what you think in the comments. Rally the Ancestors. This is weird. This looks like a Civil War photo or something. Although all their faces are kind of like weird. They look kind of like the ring wraiths in the spirit realm from Lord of the Rings. Ancestors are not doing too well. Flavor text is, as the migrating villages swelled, the goblins realized they were one tribe among many. Yeah, that's true, goblins. There are many other tribes. Sense the Grave. 2 white, 4 generic for sorcery. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That creature gets +X/+X till end of turn where X is its power. Okay, so it's a sorcery, so you can only do it on your turn. That +X/+X is going to be irrelevant unless you have a fight spell in your hand. So you put in they have a 6/6. You take something from a grave that's a 4/4. It becomes an 8/8 till end of turn. Use it to fight and kill something. However, if you bring something back from the graveyard and that card has haste on it, and maybe trample, like bring back a questing beast or something from the graveyard, throwing a Veldrain action, broken stuff. Yeah, that would be great. 8/8 questing beast, and then you keep it. Yeah, that's good in certain situations. The fact that +X/+X is on there and it doesn't give something haste is kind of weird, but you can still take advantage of it. Flavor text is, death isn't as painful as waking up from a nightmare. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Not yet. Hierophant. 2 white, 2 generic for a bird cleric, 2/3 flying. When Hierophant dies, create a 1/1 white and black bird creature token with flying. Not great, not bad. It's fine. It's just fine. Flavor is, where a priestly voice rose, we were afraid to follow. There were spies, there were magistrates, and there were some that said we should kill them all. Okay. That's a metal bird cleric. Who said that? Well, the person who said that is a servant of slumber, inscriptions on cathedral altars. Artifice Strike. 1 white, 1 generic, instant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Cool. Good sideboard tech. I like that. Plain, simple, to the point. Flavor text is, it takes just the tiniest prick of an idea, then all of humanity could become nightmares. That escalated quickly. I didn't think that was going to say. I thought it was going to say something like, takes just a tiny prick of an idea to spur great invention. No. Get a little prick of an idea and all of humanity becomes nightmares. Okay. Crucible of Worlds. It's a land. Enters the battlefield tapped. Tapped, add white. Tapped, add white or black. So it's a tapped land that adds white or black. Cool. Don't need it in a mono white deck, but whatever. Flavor is an everlasting battleground where thousands fight each other in eternal life and death. It's a really metal card name. Is this a card name in Magic already? I feel like if it isn't, it should be tomorrow because it's very good. Curse of Fever. 1 white, 4 generic, instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Put a curse counter on target creature. You may play a land this turn. This is interesting because that third line says you may play a land this turn, and by default you can actually play a land every turn. So it's not as if you get to play an additional land. The only way that this is good is if an opponent casts an instant spell at the beginning of your upkeep that says target player can't play lands this turn. And then you're like, aha, in response, Curse of Fever, resolve that, now I get to play my land. Even though your spell said I couldn't play a land. Because I have the Fever for lands, I can play them. So this is +1 counter on target creature for 5 mana and a curse counter. Let me know what you think curse counter does. I have no idea. Flavor is the echoes of Nyx weave in and out of sight, breaking apart those who cannot stand still. Ugin's Acolyte. Wow. Look at you, Cat Cleric. Your face is weird. 1 white, 4 generic, 2/3, Cat Cleric, 1 white, 1 colorless mana, generic mana. Tap target creature. Too expensive for that. Too expensive for that. I would expect to pay like 3 for this, maybe 4. Those tap effects can be good and limited and stuff, but like this doesn't do enough. Flavor is the fiery blade in his right hand burns bright as the souls of those who gave their lives to bring him back to the Akroan ship. I don't know. To my knowledge, Ugin didn't take cat acolytes, but here we are. Keening Gargoyle. 5 generic for 4/5 flying. Artifact creature, Gargoyle. Pretty sick art. Like that. Looks like a gargoyle, like a 3-headed Cerberus gargoyle or something. Flying. When you cast a spell that targets Keening Gargoyle, draw a card. Not too bad. I like the creatures that cost 2 or 3 when you can target them with like little like piddly cantrips and things. You know, give them +1/+0 till end of turn. Then you get to draw a card off of that. That's cool. Costs a little bit too much, but it is a 4/5 flyer for 5. Like, that's actually a pretty decent rate. The flavor is, in the great unknown lies only death. Not all knowledge can be harnessed, and not all truth revealed. This is a mono white deck, and I feel like all these flavors are just super cryptic and dark. Hedge Phalanx. 2 mana. It's an artifact insect. Whenever Hedge Phalanx attacks, you may sacrifice a forest. If you do, Hedge Phalanx deals 1 damage to each attacking creature. I cannot possibly imagine, and this is my challenge to you, a good scenario to use this ability. Hedge Phalanx, you declare it as an attacker, along with a few other attackers, and you sacrifice a forest. And then what do you get by sacrificing that forest? 1 damage to all of your attacking creatures. Now, if it said basically a static ability, anytime sacrifice a forest and deals 1 damage to each attacking creature, you could do that on, when the opponent declares attacks on you, but you can't because Hedge Phalanx, which is an insect somewhere in the trees, has to attack to do that. If you have a good application for this, please let me know in the comments because I think this card is terrible. I don't think there's any application for this. Let me just read this again just to make sure. When it attacks, sacrifice a forest. If you do, 1 damage to each attacking creature. Nope, that card's garbage. Flavor text, an irksome sign that even a mighty mantle is made up of fragile filaments. Ashmoth Keep Defender, 2 white, star. Haste. Unearth 4. Wait, the unearth text is different. The ability is different. Return an unearthed creature to its owner's hand. Unearth 4. So, unearth here means you tap 4, you return any creature that you have with unearth to its owner's hand. Okay. Ashmoth Keep's defender power and toughness are each equal to the number of swamps you control. That is interesting. Okay, first of all, because it takes 2 white and has haste. So you're thinking, okay, I'll use this in a mono white, really aggro deck, something that's low to the ground, very wide, or whatever. But no, this depends on how many swamps you have. So I guess the best way you take advantage of this is you have lands, you have dual lands in your deck, and you play Orzhov, you play black white, and all of your lands are swamp plains or plain swamps, so they count as those types. And then you're able to play this on turn 2. If you have 2 of those dual lands, you can attack with 2, and then it gets bigger as you go. But it's super narrow, super reliant on you having a really tight mana base. This is a really interesting card, but it's not good. Now, if it was the amount of planes you control, now we're talking, right? Flavor is in the murky shadows of Ashmouth. Their pasts lie at the bottom of the keep's moat. Urzas Ascendant, 2 white, 2/2. Urzas Ascendant can't be blocked by artifact creatures. When you gain life, Urzas Ascendant gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Both abilities are really well. The first one's very narrow. Like, what are the chances that your opponent is going to have all artifact creatures? And then, even if they do, you're getting 2 damage in. It's not a huge threat. When you gain life, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. That means you're going to have to be triggering each life gain like twice every turn to make this like a 4/4. It's not good. It's one of those cards where it's like it teases you because it's like, hey, this could be like a 5/5 if you gain life 3 times, but it's not. She holds fast a faith that sustains life in times of famine and disease. Hey, you know what, Sir Ascendant, you hold fast to that faith because I don't have any faith that you're a good card, but you do your thing. All right. Slaughterhouse Meyer, 1 white instant. See again with the metal, crazy white cards. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. It gains indestructible till the turn. That's weird. All right, so you can either use this at instant speed to kill an X1 creature. Good to kill a 3/1 with this, but also you can use this on your creature that at the cost of giving it indestructible till end of turn, it also permanently gets -1 power, -1 toughness. That's actually a really cool design. Because it's like, hey, this creature's not going to be destroyed, but it's kind of like permanently maimed. So, is the card good? No, but it's super interesting. When this mutilated mess crossed the barrier, no one gave a second thought to what the ancients referred to as the Veil. Drowned Allegiance. Look at that art. That's pretty insane. 1 white, 1 generic. Exile target artifact creature enchantment. Yes, this is what we're talking about right here. Drowned Allegiance. Give me 4 in all of my white decks at instant speed. Artifact, creature, or enchantment. Only thing it doesn't kill are planeswalkers and what? Artifact, creature, planeswalker. Huh? Yeah, just kills everything. That's great. The flavor is the Blight Shaper favored their grandfathers with elaborate games. Oh, it doesn't kill lands either. Grandpa Vex. Who's Grandpa Vex? Made you build this card, which Grandpa Smolt insisted was not only impossible, but impossible. Now we must complete the quest Grandpa Smolt made you and save our game. Grandpa Vex made you build the card, and then Grandpa Smolt said, that's not only impossible, that's impossible. That's the best flavor text ever. Ikara's Apprentice, 2 white. 1/2 Angel Cleric. 1 white, 1 generic, tap it, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, super busted. Just totally busted. You can do that at instant speed. And it costs 2 mana, and you tap this 2-drop, and then just bring things back. Not even counting all the enter the battlefield effects from other creatures that you have. This is a great, fantastic card. She had much to teach Ikara about life and Ikara about death. Act of creation. Look at the art. The AI is channeling, I'm uncultured swine here, but I'm talking about, what is it? What is it? Adam, where they're God and Adam are touching fingers there. That's what it looks like to me. Enchantment, 4-drop. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Creatures your opponent control get -1/-1. When active creation is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Yeah, that's a good card. Swings all your creatures +1, all theirs -1. And then if they destroy it, you get a 2/2 white knight. Yeah, this is really good. This would see play in a lot of formats for sure. The flavors: it cannot be concealed, it must be made known. Fell Hunter. 1 white, 3 generic for a 2/3 flying. Tap 1 white, 2 generic to regenerate Fell Hunter. Yeah, okay. Boring. The Fairy Word of Justice is powerful and terrible. Yeah, boring. Bored. Quickens. 1 white, 1 generic, instant. Till end of turn, creatures you control get +2/+0 and gain flying. That's actually not bad at all, right? So this is a dead card if you're kind of behind on board and your opponent takes a lot of your creatures out. But even giving, say, 1 or 2 creatures +2/+0 and flying if you're ultra aggressive with all kinds of, creatures when you're going wide. Even if you only have 2 creatures that get this, that's still 4 damage. They're not anticipating it. They don't have any flyers, or they swing in with their flyers at you, and you backswing on them and you deal 4 extra damage or something. This is a good card. Flavor is: by not saving you, gave them something worth fighting for. Wanok, Azorius Commander. Spirit Blade Whirl. 1 white, 4 generic for Giant Warrior 3/3. Spirit Blade Whirl gets +2/+2 as long as you control a creature with flying. Yeah, this card's not very good. This could see some play in limited, I guess, but the thing about limited even is you're not going to have a ton of creatures with flying because they come at a premium. I guess if you had some smaller creatures with flying, you play this as a 5-drop. No, no. You play this as a 5-drop. It's still just a 5/5 in best case scenario. Got to be better than that. The art is sick though. I like it a lot. When warblers emerge from the forest, every cloak ripples and every step reverberates with sound. Heavy Blessing. Heavy Blessing. 1 white, 2 generic, instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each opponent. Gain control of target creature till end of turn. Untap that creature. Gets +X/+X till end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. This is a pretty good card. So I don't play a lot of Commander. Well, actually, no. I was gonna say it would be really good in Commander, but I didn't realize that this spell literally always costs 1, right? Because I thought this would cost 1 based on certain amount of opponents, and if you had more opponents, it would cost less. But it only costs 3 to begin with, so it literally always costs 1 because you always have an opponent. At worst, it is gain control of target creature, untap it, and then you can attack with it or block or do whatever you want. Oh, wait a minute. This is not just a white active treason. This is gain control of target creature. Oh no, until end of turn. So it is active treason. Untap it, gains +X/+X, where X is the amount of life gain you turn. So this card's fine on its own for 1 white to grab a creature, swing with it, and if you have a sacrifice outlet, sacrifice it or something. But if you're in a life gain deck, it gets even that much bigger. Yeah, this is a really good card. Especially when opponents aren't thinking that you're going to be doing this in white. This is more of a red thing. Flavor is: it'll bring you that much closer to salvation. Sentinel of the Faithful. Look at that. That art reminds me of Lord of the Rings when they're going to Gondor and they have like the big statues of the dudes, the old kings. Kings of old. 1 white, 2 generic for human cleric, 2/2. When Sentinel of the Faithful dies, exile it. Then return all cards exiled with it to the battlefield under their owner's control. But it doesn't exile cards on its own. The only way that could be used is to have something where it's like choose target creature you control. That creature exiles a permanent you control or something. So, to my mind, this is only a 3-drop 2/2, which is meh. Faith has brought us to the safety of Kuldotha. Faith is why we can return. Yarok Battle Herald. 1 white, 2 generic for a human knight. It's a 3/2 with flanking. Whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature, that creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature, destroy that creature. Yeah, this is a really good card because not only does it get -1/-1, it gets killed outright. So you attack with this, they block with something. Even if it's an 8/8, that creature's just dead. So you just keep attacking with this. They don't want to block it. You keep doing 3 damage. They do block it. They can't double block it. Those creatures both die. Literally, this always gets in 100% of the time, except for if they have a creature that has indestructible, or if they have a creature that is like prevent all damage to this creature every turn, right? Something like that. Other than that, this card's fantastic. It's a 3/2 for 3, and it's always going to get its damage in, usually. Flavor is a day of battle to celebrate his courage and tenacity. Untamed Barons. Tap to add a colorless mana. Tap it. Untamed Barons deals 1 damage to target creature. Yeah, this is good land. For sure. Doesn't come in tapped, and then you have the ability, if you're not using the land, to just kill their X1 creatures. Or say that you have a POS 2/2 and they attack you with a 3/3, you block, deal that damage, tap your land, boom, kill that creature. Yeah, this is a good land. Its familiar snorts when he considers the rumor of Untamed Barons. Ranger Companion. Oh, it's one of those like cartoony art ones. I would have a full deck of these, I think. 1 white, 3 generic for a human knight, 3/3. When Ranger Companion enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. That's pretty decent. So it's a 4 mana 3/3 that comes with another 1/1. Now, if you have to build around it, obviously. If you had some soldier lords or something that gave all soldiers +1/+1, that would be cool. Although this is a knight, that makes it weird. I would think that this would be the same tribe as what it makes for you to take full advantage of it. Because if you're giving all knights +1/+1, the token doesn't get it. If you're giving all soldiers +1/+1, this doesn't get it. So that makes it actually kind of worse. But it's still, in limited, this could be okay. He kept watch over Ravnica for generations, granting protection to the Guild of Rangers. Ascendant Enchantress. 1 white for a 2/1. Ascendant Enchantress can't be blocked as long as defending player controls an enchantment. As long as Ascendant Enchantress is on the battlefield, other creatures can't attack you, and enchantments can't be blocked. Okay, so your 1-drop makes it so none of the opponent's creatures can attack you, and also enchantments can't be blocked, meaning if you have enchantment creatures like the ones that came out in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, those all become unblockable as well. This card is 10 out of 10. This is great. If they have an enchantment, you also just get to deal them 2 damage every turn. Yeah, Enchantress is super good. Some people need help walking the earth. I provide the hands. The rest of you will just have to live with it. Okay, I can live with it, Enchantress. I mean, whatever you want to do, just be in my deck. Point blank, 1 white. Destroy target enchantment, draw a card. Instant speed. Yeah. This is good. It's narrow, but I mean, you get to tap 1 mana, the card replaces itself. Odds are there's going to be an enchantment to destroy. The flavor text is the goal is simple. The goal is simple. We like to draw enchantments and we like to draw cards around here, and we like to pay 1 mana for it. That's point blank. That's it. Pounce Horde. 3-drop 2/2. Flavor text. Every time the warrior doesn't prevail in a fight, he commands another battle. Alright, let's cool. Move on. There's a cat with 3 eyes. Other than that, this is boring. Statue of Ikara. 2 generic. Artifact. Mirror. When another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life and tap to add 1 mana of any color. Yeah, this is good. Gives you life gain. It also ramps you. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a good mana rock right there. When this stone began its long journey from Tel Jalad, an immortal said it was meant to remind those who came after of their responsibility to keep their ancestors. Oh, sorry. That's boring flavor text. Alright, let's move on from Ikara's statue. Flame Skimmer Angel. 1 white, 1 generic for 2/1 Angel Cleric for flying. I like what I see so far. Beginning of your end step, create X/1/1 white human creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of times this creature attacked this turn. So, usually 1. If you attack with it, you get to keep making human creatures with flying. And if you have cards that, say, give you additional combat phases, you could possibly do it, make 2 of them a turn. And the fact that it is a flying creature and can attack on turn 3 if they don't have a flyer, this could get out of control pretty quickly. Usually it's going to make you 1, but that's okay because that thing also flies. Yeah, this is very good. Flame Skimmer Angel, I like a lot. He fell among thieves. His comrades put him to the flame, but a phoenix's love awoke him. We shall meet again, kinsman. Aw, that's so nice. That's it. That's it. Oh yeah, I removed all the lands, so we didn't have to sit through the plains. But just insert X amount of lands in this deck, and let me know what you think about the deck. I think there were some very, very good cards in here. There were a few boring ones, but for the most part, the AI did a great job. At least most of the cards at least had some really cool art, really cool flavor, or they were just really, really good cards. I'm taking Flame Skimmer Angel in the deck. I'm taking Ascendant Enchantress. I'm taking Untamed Barons. I'm taking Heavy Blessing. I'm taking a lot of this stuff. Act of Creation, the Anthem effect that gives you a knight when they kill it. So let me know what your favorite card was. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. I want to do more of these, and I feel like these are really fun to do. So if you liked the video, please share it and consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.